What's up, everybody? Welcome to We're Offended, You're Offended. I'm Kim. This is Tyler. And it is Monday. So thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to come sit with us and listen to the craziness going on in the world today. And as per usual, we got the crazy.
Ban assault weapons.
I'm sorry. Say that I'm a dick. Just say that last part about Saskatchewan again. Sorry, guys. I had it muted because of the intro. Sorry. So just that last little bit.
I said so. In Saskatchewan, if you don't know, you should know. With we need to now ban assault weapons, assault knives, so to speak. To be more direct, we're going to ban assault knives. Why is the Prime Minister not getting on that? Ban all assault knives now, not yesterday.
Careful. You start with assault knives, we're going to end up with forks and spoons soon. Then we're just going to be back to the frickin' Middle Ages, medieval times where we're eating with our hands, ripping those pigs apart.
Yeah. Well, not pigs. It's going to be crickets.
Ew.
With has anything that they wanted. We'll also be talking about. So if you don't know, there was a documentary on Netflix done with regards to a football player who got trapped by a tranny.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about that and the narrative that came out of that, and you'll see that there's a big shift in how victimhood blaming goes, and we'll touch on that, and then holy shit. I called it. Boy, did I call it. I called it pretty hard because our Canadian government has said killing people is just cheaper than actually treating them for their issues. So we're going to talk about that and how devastating that is. And with Justin Trudeau's comments of, well, get vaccinated or the lockdowns return. There's your ultimatum again. That's what we get. Yeah. So we'll touch on that.
Shit again. Cool. That's fun. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Vaccinate or else. Comply or else. All right. So before we get into that and everything else, of course. No. Wait, do I want to do that now? Yeah. You know what? We're here Monday, Thursday. I know. Oh, right. Sorry. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at my wife. Sorry. I won't look at my wife. I'll look at that. You like what you see, Kuckerberg?
What's that?
Yeah. All right. You know what? Let's just hit that beds are burning. Let's get this show started. Starts now.
How can we dash when they don't produce anything. They don't do anything. I don't sleep while our beds are burning. How can we dance when our earth
is turning? Fuck.
Busted.
Sorry.
Awkward.
The old booger hook stuck in my nose. I'm just kidding.
Ew.
It's a joke, obviously. All right, let's get into this first story. So there's been an article circulating around about vaccines being used in chemtrails. Okay, we've all heard the stories. They're using it. They're inoculating the people, and they're creating vaccines in order for the elites to be okay.
Hold on.
Okay?
This whole chemtrail vaccine thing, isn't that something that I'm going to need to go get my tinfoil hat for? This sounds like one of those things that people talk about conspiracy theories all the time.
You would think so, right? You would assume that Alex Jones and his gay frogs and all his other craziness chalk another one up to Alex Jones was right.
Yeah.
you know, I'm sorry. He keeps doing it. So I was looking into, well, is this story true? Okay. That's what I was looking at. Because the initial story that I had seen was that you know what? I'll just let Snopes say it for you, because their framing is masterclass in bullshit. So I just Google search, is Australia looking at approving medicine to be used as an aerosol? And their claim, so this is right from Snopes themselves. Australian officials are deploying a genetically modified vaccine aerially without consent from residents. That's the claim they're making. That was not the claim made in the article. So you already see the twist happening right from the claim.
Well, yeah, they say false. Like I'm looking right at the big stop sign. False.
They say it's false. No, they are not deploying genetically modified vaccine aerially without the consent from residents. Oh, they're not. Okay, that's the claim. Well, it's weird because right in their debunking it, it says like other, and I have to read this because they say you see the contradiction in real time. Like other conspiracy-minded sites, YourNewsWire.com was advancing a story that was already years old. It was based on a 2013 story published by anti-vaccine website PreventsDisease.com, saying that PaxVax would be able to release live bacteria into the environment. Okay?
That sounds sketch.
Well, but again, remember, this is the idea that this is false. It is true that VaxPass applied in 2013 to conduct clinical trials for the vaccine. But contrary to PreventDisease.com's allegation, an April 2014 report by the Office of the Gene Technology Regulator, which is part of the National Department of Health, specified not only that the vaccine is taken orally, but that the trial would be restricted to 1,000 people who were already planning to travel to areas where the disease is prevalent. A far cry from an unsuspecting populace being sprayed from above. Do you hear that kind of that backflip going on? They're saying, oh, it's completely false. No, they're doing clinical tests on whether this works or not in a particular area. This is called testing. There are places that have patents on certain things, like I know EA, Electronic Arts, big video game manufacturer, publisher, if you don't know. But they had gotten patents on specifically having people that do not have certain weapons or certain gear and actually stop doing that. And actually having those people that have that gear inside the game that they're playing. So they had filed a patent on this. So it's not that they're using it, it's that the idea is already there, and they're allowing this type of manipulation, so to speak, go on. So it's not, are they doing it to unsuspecting individuals? No, they are testing whether or not it works. That was the original claim. And people are going, well, shit, if this is what's happening, that should be a cause for concern. The Tuskegee Airmen, does that sound familiar at all to anyone? They're telling you they're doing one thing. Get out of my way. They tell you they're doing one thing and they're actually not. So that's where the speculation comes in. So it was just an interesting little, chuck and jive, a little twist.
Well, that's, I don't know. Like you see so much of that with the Snoops where they'll quote one part of it and they're like, no. See, this is false because no, there wasn't, 1,000 unsuspecting. It was only, that they were already going to a place where the disease was prevalent. So, obviously they knew the disease was there. They just didn't know we were giving them vaccines for it and spraying it overhead. But the part that them not knowing about the disease, well, that's false. Yeah.
Well, it's very much like, you'll see a Snopes, they'll make a claim of, did Donald Trump really do a backflip while holding an ice cream cone? It's like, what?
I'd like to see that.
What? We're just talking about did Donald Trump do? Yeah. And then they'll say, oh, well, that's false. Although Donald Trump did do a backflip, it was later confirmed that the ice cream was in fact sorbet. Like, okay, come on, right? we get the point. Okay, so he did a backflip with an ice cream cone or ice cream in his hand. Not real. Okay, but this is the type of game that they're playing. So, good job, Snopes. Good job, Snopes. Fantastic.
Glad I
So
can
let-
always count on you for giving us the good old 411 and definitely all the accurate info.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at shifting with this a little bit. So if you don't know, there's two crazed at the time of this. There were two crazed knife wielders brandishing knives. Yeah, there were two
of them. Oh, I thought there was just
Yeah.
one.
No, there were two brothers that have killed 10 people and injured 18 throughout Saskatchewan. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
The other, fortunately, good. You know what? Do I revel in somebody's death? Yeah. When it's a violent piece of shit that is attacking innocent people, yep. You know what? As of right now, just as I was getting this prepared, one of them was found dead. Good.
Oh, shucks. I mean, I'm truly heartbroken. That is super sad.
I have no sympathy for a vile, disgusting sociopath that is destroying people's lives, injuring, maiming people for whatever reason. The crazy thing is, my heart goes out to those friends and the families that are affected by these two psychotic, disgusting people.
Yeah.
Heart really does. My bigger concern, what makes me angry, what really curdles my milk.
Really grinds my gears. As Peter
know
Griffin
what that
once said,
means.
curdles my milk. That sounds nasty. Yeah.
Curdles my milk. I'm not, even though it's terrible. So juxtapose this. So with these victims here, so Justin Trudeau came out. Any opportunity to exploit anything political, right? The
100%.
attacks in Saskatchewan today are horrific and heartbreaking. Absolutely, they are. I'm thinking of those who have lost a loved one and for those who were injured. Okay? Look at that statement, juxtapose that with, well, in Nova Scotia, well, we already have legislation being pushed through to compromise an investigation in order to put gun legislation through. That's what Justin Trudeau did then. These are 10 people killed, 18 seriously, or 18 others injured.
Jesus.
You see that juxtaposition? Because if anyone said, "Oh, if you can't ban knives, we use them." Justin Trudeau, the Liberal government, and a lot of, you know what, and I'll say this, a lot of conservatives, a lot of you NDPs have supported, in fact, pushed legislation through that protecting yourself is a crime. And I hope, fortunately, I hope that the one guy that didn't make it, I hope he was riddled with bullet holes. I hope he was riddled with bullet holes. Because at least someone was able to stop a violent, disgusting piece of shit.
Piece of shit, exactly. That is definitely the key thing to call this thing. I can't even 28 people were either injured or dead due to these people. That is a lot of people. And the fact that they somehow kept going and they didn't get caught beforehand is just mind-boggling. Like, I would actually like to know more of the story. I don't know if anybody who's listening who lives in the Manitoba, Saskatchewan, or Alberta area. I know for us in Manitoba, we were getting alerts, and I still have alerts on my phone regarding these, the vehicle, the da-da-da-da-da. And it's quite mind-boggling. Like, I don't know. I guess it was just the one that was found dead, right? Or the one that was...
One's found dead. One's assumed to be severely injured. So I assume they got shot at. That is my assumption. I don't know. I haven't been able to. All they've said is that one was, we can confirm he has visible injuries. These injuries are not to believe self-inflicted. So what does that mean? Did they get into a fight with each other, or did someone find them trying to stalk someone and they said, "Pop, pop, I'm not going to be number 11."
Maybe they were trying to do like a double murder and they were just like, all right, on the count of 3, let's go. And they were all just like taking turns, like stab, 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 like back at each other. And then the one, and then the one died, and the other one was like, "Fuck, I'm still alive." You know, and it's
Came
like
a
against
roach.
their religion or something where they can't kill themselves. So he's, you know, just
No,
bleeding out somewhere.
these people are vile, disgusting human beings. The thing that bothers me, in fact, I was having a conversation with someone this weekend with regards to this type of stuff, because they're obviously, the side of, well, guns should be banned. You shouldn't be able to do this. And I said, you know what? The crazy thing is, this is someone that has dealt with sexual assaults, saying, I would rather see a headline that says, would-be rapist shot and killed by a potential victim than
100%.
then this person still at large. Women, be careful in going in this area, because you can't use a taser, you can't use pepper spray, you can't use a gun, you can't use anything to defend yourself. It's proportional force. Okay, well, a man using his fists on a woman most of the time is going to cause a lot more damage than a woman dealing damage to a man.
Oh,
So I would
100%, especially if you're going blow by blow here, whether it's just using your fists or stabby, 100% a man's going to do more damage. They have more of that upper body strength, 100%.
Well, but so we have made it a crime to protect yourself. Now, here again, I will put the blame on the RCMP, on
Ruh-roh. Looks like we got us some technical. Yeah, you're back. Which is actually kind of funny because I put up the what do you call it? The technical difficulties thing that our son made for us for when these things happen, because he thought it was cute. And the first time we put that on, you were talking about how it was some autistic kid who made it, which we're allowed to say was our fucking kid. So fuck off. Anyway.
Yeah, it's our kid.
Yeah. We're allowed to say he's autistic. But it's just funny that you come back and you're like, that stupid ass face.
But so what are we seeing? Okay, so you can't defend yourself. All the police say is just go away. Don't try and get involved. Just stay away. Okay, so we're supposed to allow someone to terrorize our communities and destroy them, while what? Any potential person that we meet is going to come and kill us?
No, I think no. I don't think that's what they mean. I mean, the thing is, it's always going to be priority number one to make sure of people's safety, right? So, I mean, if you know that there's some psycho gun wielding or knife wielding or shovel wielding person out there who is doing damage to people and hurting people, you're going to tell them, like, if you see this person, don't approach them. Like, be safe, get yourself safe, call for help.
Stop them.
Okay, but
you could have stopped potentially 28 people from being killed or injured.
A cop,
shoot
yes.
the fucker.
Yeah, a cop, yes. No. But I mean, okay, if you have a gun and this person comes onto your property, 100% defend yourself, defend your family, take them out. 100%.
You can't.
I know you can. I know you can. It's bullshit.
You have no opportunity to defend yourself. That's the argument that I'm making. So you could have stopped 28 people from being injured or killed. And the police say, well, you know what? We'll find them. You put more effort into weaponizing military police on peaceful protesters, regardless of whether they're honking or they're bouncy castles or sweeping fucking or putting a flag on Terry Fox. You put more effort into that. You were so quick. You had the military activated to spy on these people, to have spy planes flying over top. You put more effort into that than into actually making sure, putting a full-on fucking manhunt, saying, hey, you find these two people, gun them down. The only shitty part is that they won't get to face justice. They won't get the retribution. They went out like a fucking, I wish, our word, what, retard?
No. Sorry, I whispered coward. You said they went out like I said coward. Because to me, anybody who decides to do that whole, suicide by cop thing, or I'm just going to kill a bunch of people and then kill myself, 100% that is the coward's way out. And it's like, fuck you for sitting there terrorizing a bunch of people, ruining a bunch of people's lives. And then you're going to be like, I'm too big of a sissy to take the punishment. So peace out, bitches. Fuck you. Like that makes me really mad.
I think they're cowards because they went after innocent people that were unable
That
to
too.
defend themselves. Good
That
job.
too. Just
All
all
right.
around cowards.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing says a big, strong, strapping young man like stabbing people because you're a
Ooh,
coward.
so
You're a
tough.
loser. All right. Speaking of tough people, let's I guess before we get into this article or this segment, of course, we are here Monday to Thursday. We're on Rumble live streaming. Um, if you're here, we're on. This goes on YouTube the next day on Rumble. Check it out. Hit the Rumble button. Hit the YouTube button. I know for Rumble we ended up deleting the channel, but we kept the account, so all our videos won't be duplicating and doing all this weird stuff was going on, and it bothered the shit out of me. So
The only
if you
bad
were,
thing is, yeah, we lost all our subscribers. So come resubscribe.
yeah, hit that Rumble button, hit the follow button. But all right, so let's get into.
Please, sir, I want some more.
That was actually the perfect face for that guy's more.
All right, so you want to take the helm with this this football player thing? All right.
Oh, you couldn't hear me. I said, yeah, sure. Anyway, okay, so I was watching this documentary on Netflix, which if you haven't heard about, go check it out. It's a really good documentary. It's the untold story of Manti Te'o and the girlfriend who didn't exist. It's a good listen, watch, whatever you want to call it. And very sad and frustrating and annoying all at the same time. So homeboy here, which I'll show you a picture of. Okay, football player. He played college football. He was really great, obviously. But he ended up meeting this girl online who was there. He's from Hawaii. She was also from Hawaii. They were both religious, had good family morals. So they started dating. They dated for 3 years online. He never actually seen the person. And then, all of a sudden, when he started getting impatient and wanting to meet said person, then it was
Why
what?
why is she She-Hulk? Why is she a shitty She-Hulk
She's not.
in this picture? Why is she green like shitty She-Hulk?
I'm not really sure. I'm guessing it's just the weird whatever. But
All right, okay, so
anyway,
he was like a football player.
yeah, he was a college football star. And he was dating this girl for 3 years online. Turns out 3 years later, people were tipped off. It's a big long story, but turned out homeboy was been catfished for the past 3 years. And the person who was actually catfishing him was this strapping young lad who was pretending to be a woman, obviously. So the the whole story about the whole thing, like listening to Manti Te'o's story, it was really sad. It was heartbreaking. He had a lot going on for him and things were good, and he thought he had this amazing woman, and then to find this out, and not only did he find out that he was being catfished by somebody, it was actually some some blog, some sports blog was actually tipped off, about the fact that this might be all fraud. So they started digging into it, and it was the first time Deadspin, correct? Thank you. So, and it was the first time he had actually read of who the potential person is that is catfishing him, and finding out that his alleged girlfriend, who not only has been catfishing him, faked having leukemia, faked her death. Also, not only just faked her death on the same day that his grandmother died. It was literally hours later. So he lost his grandmother and his supposed girlfriend all on the same day. It was so, like, could you imagine somebody going through that? And the thing is, so all this stuff comes out about him being catfished and that who this person really is. And then the sad thing is, then he starts getting blamed for it. Then people start looking at him going, well, how is this person this naive? How is he this naive not to think that he's being catfished? It's been 3 years and he's never actually seen this person. There have been voicemails. They were talking on the phone. There's been voicemails, which all were released after the fact. And you can hear that it sounds like a woman. And that's always his defense was, it sounded like a woman, But now the narrative then started spinning about how not only was he involved in it, but well, okay, this person had come out years later. At the time that all this was going on, uh Renaya was still a dude. Okay. He didn't identify as transgender or anything. And okay, anyway. But then all of a sudden it started getting spun that, Manti Te'o was transphobic, stuff like that. And people are coming after him and attacking him and stuff like that for things like that. And I can guarantee you in the documentary, at the very end, he had actually said that he forgives this person. How he managed to who even muster that up, it must be his like obviously religious upbringing and stuff like that. But to even be like, I forgive you. And I forgive him. And I can guarantee you people are going to start coming after him about that now too. Because he said him.
Okay, so so with seeing this, and this is the part that's really bothered me with this, is there have been many news articles have come out of, say, a man that transitioned to a woman goes to a bar, picks up, meets a dude, and saying, "Yo, I'm a chick. Look, I'm presenting as a woman." And then, they go back to their place, and the dude finds out, "Oh my God, you got a twig and dingleberries going down there."
Twig and dingleberries? What's that?
And the guy has, in a psychotic rage, beaten this person, a trans person, to death. There have been numerous articles that someone has actually they've walked. It's been seen as you were trying to entrap them. You were I don't know the exact word or what you would use for it, but they have gotten off based on like a temporary insanity that they weren't in control. Like, they don't want to have sex with a man, regardless of what your feeling is. Why would you put someone in this position? And you see so much of this happen.
Well, and you do, and I mean, and back in the day, like when this had actually started, like this was, I think back in 2009, was it 2009 or 2000? Yeah, 2009. So back then, like you didn't really know a lot about catfishing. Like it wasn't something that was prevalent that people really knew about. So yeah, unfortunately, he was naive and just kind of he had no idea. He believed this person, and I mean, clearly this person looks nothing like what they pretended to be. They would send pictures, stuff like that, of this woman who was actually somebody they knew in school, and this is what the person actually looks like. So, and it's not like they came forward and it's like, "Oh, I'm transgender," and da da da, and he's like, "Oh," they didn't even. He didn't even give him a chance. Do you know what I mean? Like it was, I look like a dude at the time, which is like the picture like I showed, was pretending to be a woman. And then you find all this shit out. And then it was after the fact, after all this stuff happened, that this person decided to finally transition. Okay. And he's being, cast as like a transphobe and all this other stuff. And it's like, are you kidding me right now? Like you didn't even, that wasn't even a thing. And regardless, you're sitting there lying about who you are. You're saying that you're one thing and you're not. If you're going to meet somebody, be honest with that person. And it's
well, okay, but the thing is like you are seeing articles that are coming out, and trans people are saying, if you don't like, we have from the BBC of saying like lesbians who feel pressure to have sex and relationships with trans women.
Yeah.
Well, I thought being gay. I thought you were born this way, Lady Gaga. I thought that's how you were born. You can't change, the gay mind. I thought that's how. So now they're saying, well, because you don't like to have sex with people that are biologically male, well, now you're transphobic. What?
Which makes absolutely no sense. Like when you actually think about it. Okay, so a woman is a lesbian because she likes women. It's not just what they kind of look like on the outside. It's all the parts, baby, all the parts. So if all of a sudden you think you're on a date with a woman and you're like, "Oh, hello, what's that?" Or vice versa, a guy's on a date with a girl and whatever. Like it's a cause for concern. Like, and the thing is, like, I feel that in those situations where people have gotten like beaten to death and stuff like that, it's very sad. It really is. And I don't approve of that. I don't agree with that. But you cannot come at somebody and start harassing them and calling them names because this person who was pretending to be something is not what they were actually pretending to be. And I think what really bothered me about the story, and one of the things that actually kind of enraged me, is quite literally nothing happened to Renaya. Nothing. They painted him as, the victim. He grew up in a same football type family, and he just didn't feel like him, and he started playing this fake persona online, and then it ended up in this big dark hole that just kept going. And then he literally played along with this for 3 years and then tried ending it by faking his death. But then, oh, nay, a few months later, he decided, oh, I'm not done with this person. I don't want my character to be dead. So then all of a sudden, surprise, came back from the dead. What the fuck? Okay. But nothing happened to this person. It was literally watching a documentary on two different sides of this is the victim and this is the victim. There were two victims here, but there wasn't. One person knew what they were doing. They absolutely knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing was wrong. They even said so, but they were being selfish and just continued doing it. And nothing happened. The last I saw, catfishing is against the law. So I would feel, to be completely honest, that at the very least, this person should be charged. 100%. They literally almost ruined this person's life. What?
I was muted.
Were you? Oh, were you trying to talk this whole time?
Well, okay, so I think we get the point with this story, because, like, culturally, if it's something that's not enforced, if people just say, well, trans women are women, so you need to treat if you're a guy and you meet a trans woman, well, then you need to have a relationship with them. And go, well, I just don't there's a trans dating site. Sorry, so the straight men who have sex with trans women. So that's supposed to be accepted. Like you have to. And that's where you play the clip. That's where you play the clip.
And I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
So you see things like that. So all right, okay, so you're seeing stuff like this. Someone gets catfished, and then the person that was catfished is the victimizer somehow because the other person is somehow trans. Okay, sure, let's play that game. Well, now you're having people, there are articles like we have in the Spectator. Some women have penises. If you don't sleep with them, you're transphobic. Oh, most of us think like, okay, this is a good thing. People should not face abuse or exclusion or hostility because of who or what they are. We all should be judged on what we do. And I think Teddy, I think he said it best. Or Ted, sorry, Ted, not Teddy.
This is such a relief. I'm so glad I finally caught it. No, there are no chicks with dicks, Johnny. Only guys with tits. This is such a relief. I'm so glad I finally caught it. I wanted to be caught.
Sorry, guys. I had to replay that. I don't know why it was so flipping quiet there. It felt like if I could barely hear it, you could barely hear it too. So I rewound it. Sorry.
Okay, so this is kind of the issue that you're seeing. The TERFs. The TERFs are evil, vile, disgusting people, and Ed said it best. So.
It's not fair. It's literally like I'm just gonna say it's not fair that when somebody gets catfished in any regard, whether it's literally, and I'm just gonna say whether it's some fat chick who is parading around with pictures of a skinny chick, and then all of a sudden you go and meet the guy and you're like, surprise, look at me, and they're like, yeah, that's not what I was expecting. Like, and it's not the fact that you don't give the person a chance. Like, you really don't. You catch them completely off guard. They're expecting to see one thing, they see something else. And not only is it just, it's not like the person would be looking at it and be like, oh, fuck, I don't like fat chicks. It's that fucking bitch lied to me. Like, it's all about the lies, which is the major thing. It's not like you get to know somebody and they have that opportunity to fall in love with you or actually like you and stuff like that. And the sad thing is about the Manti Te'o thing is he loved this person. He really did.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I agree with you. But let's move on because we have this last thing that we have to get into. So
okay.
The pièce de résistance of today. So I should have said this on the outset and I completely forgot. So I'm going to ask the question of the day now. So leave a comment. If you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button. Let us hear your opinion on this. Do you like Canada's healthcare? Do you like it? Very simple question. So
yes is my answer.
No, I completely disagree. So
Really?
okay, so let's look at this. So there was this video that Justin Trudeau made when he was in our beloved home city of Winnipeg, and so let's just listen to what he has to say and listen to the gaslighting that's already happening. Listen to the priming of you. If you do not comply, it will be your own fault because government has to be your parent. So
how long ago was this?
Yesterday.
Ew, he was here. Oh, I breathe the same air as him. Sick.
Okay, so let's play this video here.
Things to remember is COVID's not done with us yet. We might want to be done with it, but it's still around. And yes, we have a lot more tools, a lot more understanding, a lot more knowledge on how to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe that have allowed us to get back to regular life in a lot of ways for a whole bunch of people. But we also know that as winter comes and as people get pushed back indoors, there is a real risk of another serious wave of COVID. One of the best things we can do to prevent that wave, prevent the pressure on our healthcare systems, prevent provinces from having to take decisions around restrictions and mandates, is to ensure that everyone is up to date in their vaccination.
Right there.
The recommendation is, you should be up to date in your vaccinations if you have had a dose within 6 months. Everyone who has been a while since their vaccination should look at the fact that we have new vaccines coming out this month.
Oh, new vaccines
that are
fun.
Tailored against Omicron that will provide better protection, and everyone should get out and get vaccinated.
I think we get the point, and he's saying we need between 80, 85, 90% of vaccinations. Okay, that is what Justin Trudeau is saying. Otherwise, well, there's going to be more restrictions. Comply or else. And oddly enough, what was trending on Twitter is do not comply because people are done.
I can't wait for these new vaccines to come out and, get forced into doing that. And, honestly, I'm going to be the first one in line to hopefully get those side effects, because the side effects they got from the other one just wasn't enough. I want more. Please give me more.
Well, okay. And so with this video coming out, with these statements being made, I started to look into, well, there was an article released that was talking about, well, I could just show it right from the CBC. So medically assisted deaths could save millions in healthcare spending. So they've already, we talked about this before, about the idea of, well, it's cheaper just to kill you. And that's expanding to people that are now having depression. Depression is the sole reason why you could say, hey, you know what?
Right?
Pull it quits. Pull it quits.
100%.
And so I was looking into, what about the cost? Like, what is the value of a life? What do we deem the life to be considered valuable? How much money do we put in order to keep somebody alive?
Should be priceless.
Well, it's about 10 to 20 million. And that number obviously fluctuates. That's about what insurance companies work with, because then if it costs more than that, well, then we might have a lawsuit on our hands. It's all factored into numbers and how they work these types of things. But he is already saying, well, we were already told, you know, think of when COVID, and I understand, okay, I don't need to hear the arguments of, well, the numbers change. Okay, but things have changed and flip-flopped and hid, and things have been manipulated so many times that, well, it was 60%. 60% when we'll have herd immunity. Listen to his rhetoric when 90%, according to his numbers, were vaccinated. Look how he treated us at 90%, and people went along with it. Right? I was just going to say, with the Freedom Convoy stuff, I think he said 90% of truckers are vaccinated, and they don't agree with this.
Yeah. There was lots of truckers that were at the Freedom Convoy, that were vaccinated. That just did not believe in the mandates. But I think that's what is the most frustrating part. Okay, maybe not the most frustrating part, but a frustrating part for me during this whole thing is it starts off as one thing and then it flip-flops, right? 60%. No, 75%. 80%. 90%. Oh, 90% still isn't enough. 100%. Then it started turning into that 100%. It has to be 100%. And it's like, are you fucking serious? Like, make up your mind. It's literally been 60%. Okay, well, as soon as you hit this part, this is going to happen. You're going to get this back. Once we hit this part, you're going to get this back. It never changed.
You'll get your freedoms back, as Brian Pallister said. And this is the thing. Yeah, it was in the past. But I look at the rhetoric that was used. Brian Pallister said it perfectly. If you want to go outside, if you want to go to a movie theater, if you want to go to a football game, well, those are privileges. And these are the privileges you get for complying with the government. So again, we're seeing this type of rhetoric. Well, how do you get 100% compliance? Well, like I said, from the CBC. So doctor-assisted death could reduce annual health care spending across the country by between $34.7 million and $136.8 million, according to a report published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal on Monday. The savings exceedingly outweigh the estimated 1.5 to 14.8 million in direct costs associated with implementing medically assisted dying. So there's a cost benefit to just telling someone to off themselves. We'll kill you for you. That's how you get to that 100% compliance.
Can we not see how slightly messed up this is? Where not only are people talking about, okay, medically assisted suicides, which I think in some cases I'm all for. I really, to be completely honest, I really am. If someone's going to be stuck as a vegetable for the rest of their life and they can't do anything and that's what their wishes are, well then 100%. But if I come up to you and I'm depressed and I'm like, I want to kill myself, and they're like, let me help you with that. I have something for you. Like it's messed up. And the fact that it's literally like, if you actually think about it, they're literally talking about, okay, but if we do these medically assisted suicides or whatever, we're saving this amount of money. You can see where their thought process is here. It's not helping people, and it has nothing to do with that at all. It is literally money.
About money.
We can save money. Oh, you want to die? Come to Big Papa Castro. I'll do it for you.
Which is why I brought this up. How much is a life worth? So they're looking at it as a strictly cost benefit. This is when we have lost real value of an individual. When it is, how much are you on an expense sheet? It's not whether or not you pay into the system in order to have access to the healthcare. Well, when I was looking at like the OECD ranked us 10th out of 11 Commonwealth countries. The only one that I don't know I understand why they throw in the US, but the OECD ranked us 10th out of 11 places.
What is that?
The OECD?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look at what the OECD, what the name actually stands for. I can't remember. Oh my God. The Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development.
Oh,
So this is
okay.
so they look at like the economies of other countries. They look at that type of stuff. They have us ranked the worst advanced country for any type of economic progress for the next 40 years. This is the same place that ranked us 10th out of 11 places compared to the US, and that is based on dollar value alone. Because we spend about $6,700 per year for our medical system. US spends about $13,000 per person on the medical system.
That's insane.
But we point to the US and say, oh, look, we're better than the US. Okay, being better than fucking dead last, being the second worst is good. That's not good. We had the German chancellor here saying, hey, Canada, you guys have so much natural resources. You have so much oil. Could you help us and, stop the stranglehold that Russia has on us? And Canada says, no.
Why?
Totally bungles because he's a fucking idiot.
That makes absolutely no sense at all. We're literally sending bajillions of dollars overseas to freaking China for shit, to the Ukraine and stuff like that. And again, this has nothing to do with the Ukraine people, just saying. But yet Germany's trying to come to us to use our natural resources because, they have to go to Russia and they're saying no. So the chance for making money though, for Germany coming to us for our resources, then in turn would make us money. They're saying no. That makes sense.
For anyone, think of it like this. Think if you have, when Elon was looking at buying Twitter, think of it this way. You have a financial and you have an obligation to your stakeholders. I'm using your WEF fucking rhetoric, Justin Castro. Your stakeholders. You have an obligation to them to ensure that their stocks have a return. Because of ideological bend, they said, Elon, no, we don't want you to buy us. Okay, well, when people go and now say, well, you've now put us in poverty because of your ideological bend, that gasoline big bad. Okay, and there are reports of places that are saying, I brought this up before about California. Well, because of their heat wave, they told people not to charge their electric vehicles because it's straining the power grid. But you said gasoline super big bad. You banned gasoline vehicles by 2035. Gasoline cars will be banned in California. Okay? But your grid can't even handle the system with it being supplemented. So where's the benefit going on here? I don't see it. All I see is government saying, you know what, people cost too much. If we just kill them, if we expand the reason to solely being depression, the only qualifier to end the life of someone that's mentally ill could be depression. Do you hear how psychotic that is?
Yeah. 100%.
And of course, anything we do talk about will be listed in the description. Look at this stuff for yourself. Come to your own conclusion. I'm just showing and sharing the information.
To be fair, I'm actually quite surprised that the pharmaceutical companies aren't being like, whoa, what the fuck, man? Because if you allow, somebody to medically piece themselves out because they no longer want to be here anymore, think of the millions of dollars the pharmaceutical companies are losing in antidepressants and antipsychotics. And I mean, as far as I knew, I thought the government was in bed with the pharmaceutical companies. So I'm really surprised that's even being allowed.
Do I sound better now? I'm super mad.
Oh my God, you sound so much better.
I'm super mad.
You were talking out of the wrong microphone again, weren't you?
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps defaulting to there, but okay, so this is kind of the position that we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. The government just looks at it strictly by a cost thing. If you don't comply, well, you know what? What if they say, hey, you might lose one? Okay, look at this. Look at this. One of the biggest reasons people actually opted for suicide was depression? Was people feeling alone? Think about that. That was one of the largest reasons why people opted for suicide, was because they felt alone.
Yeah.
So, just the cost of doing business in Canada.
Yeah, but then you seclude everybody and keep everybody locked up. I mean, that's just going to drive the depression way up, which we've already seen. So that means more people are going to want medical suicide, and ka-ching, more
This
money for me.
this sounds like the Rat Hope experiment. You ever hear about that? So,
Vaguely, but I don't remember.
so if for anyone that doesn't know, so there was a study done with rats, and they put them in like test tubes, fill them up with water, and then they'd have the rats just swim until they finally couldn't do it, and then they died. It was like 15 minutes. They would hold up for 15 minutes. They would sink to the bottom and drown.
That's horrible.
But in the second one, when the rats were giving up and they were going to die, well, they were taken out. They were given food. They were allowed to rest. The second time, they went up for about 60 hours. Do you hear how crazy that is? So this is like what it is. If I just do what I have to do, someone will come save me. So this madness will eventually stop. Things will get better. So think about that. I think, all right, let's get the hell out of here.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time out of your day to come sit with us and listen to the craziness we got going on in the world today, because we love our crazy. Anyway, hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic day, and we will catch you all again tomorrow. We out.